Welcome back to the World Cleanup Day show, coming to you live from Tallinn in Estonia.
Whoa!
It has been a great day so far. We've been tracking the green wave as it moves from Asia through Europe, Africa, all the way to Latin America, North America, and we've been checking in with so many countries. It's been fantastic. And as we've been saying, we are coming from the home of the World Cleanup Day, from the beautiful old town of Tallinn in Estonia. And look who's with me. It's Heidi. Hello again, Heidi. How are you?
I'm good.
Heidi,
I'm Estonian.
You're so beautiful. I know you're checking yourself out at the huge monitor we have here to watch. You're looking great. Look at you. Okay. Fantastic. It's a beautiful day today as well, isn't it?
It is shiny and beautiful, and people who are here working with us, they are shining too.
Now, tell us what you've got here, because you have been
Oh.
tracking all the figures, all the countries.
Yeah.
So what has it been looking like so far?
I think it looks really, really great. We are on the half of journey. So you can see quite a lot of countries who have been cleaned already. Its official number is 49. We started the cleanups already 45. And not started or where we actually are sending or making the call is 110. And just 6 have been postponed. And there are different reasons for that.
The obvious one that comes to mind is COVID, but what are the
It's
different
first.
reasons that it could be postponed? I know there's been more
Bad
situations
weather,
in the past. Okay, bad weather, yeah.
And also, if for example, big partner is saying that let's have in the next weekend for many reasons, it's Rwanda, and they are doing a cleanup with huge association, which is African Olympic Committee.
Oh, wow, okay.
For example.
Now, last year it was 180 countries,
Exactly, 180 countries was last year.
and the figure was 21.2
Yeah.
million people around the world.
Okay, this is a number what we do know, because I think there might be numbers what we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think this year might be really interesting because we have a lot of individual cleanups, whether
Yeah.
it's a blogging, it's by going pick up with the family or by yourself or doing digital cleanup. Might be that people are not registering or
Of
putting
course.
their results. So we don't know in the end of the day how many people, but we try to have 180 countries.
We try to have 180 countries.
Yes.
And that's a good point, because in previous years when they're gathering in groups, someone is there counting and registering everyone.
Yeah.
But because people cannot gather in most places due to
Exactly.
COVID, people are doing it in their village or at home in the family, so they're not registering officially, so it's hard to get a gauge on the numbers. But you can tell the amount of countries, and we can see their videos come in as we have been seeing throughout the day. So still to go, we still have a lot of countries to get through between now and the end of the day.
Yes, we have quite a lot of work to do, even to catch some European and African countries I can see here. So, yeah.
So in the columns here, the ones that are clean, that means the sun has set or is setting on those countries. The ones who are cleaning are countries like Estonia here in Central Europe and in Africa. And the ones where they haven't started yet, they're just getting up out of bed.
Yeah, good work have been done. By the way, some of the countries are cleaning also tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're
so-
stretching it over 2 days, or they're
Yeah, it
moving it
might
to
be.
tomorrow instead? Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
And some of them haven't done it, like Iran, for example, at yesterday and day before.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
And Asia doing 1 week.
They're doing a whole week. Why is that?
Because they're doing digital cleanup, it makes a lot of time, more time, but also individual cleanup. So you actually can do it. I don't know, more longer. And we had, for example, leader Shun Hui from Singapore, and he said that the difference between this year and last year is definitely that there are more individual. This kind of people who are coming by themselves or coming to the street and said, what you're doing, I'd like to do it as well. So the awareness have been definitely raised, and maybe it's okay and works really well.
Yeah, fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
Heidi, keep up the good work. And, we've got a great story you like now. Do you want a good story? Of course you want a good story. Where am I from? What country?
Ireland.
Ireland. There are 2 young men in Ireland. One is called Liam Lysat, the other is called Rory McMahon. They're 20, 21 years of age, so very young, but they're young entrepreneurs. These are enterprising guys. They were so annoyed by the problem of cigarette butts on the street, which we've been talking about all the
exactly.
time. They said, let's find a way of recycling those microplastics and turning them into something cool. Guess what they turned them into?
Very fantastic thing, which we all gonna see now.
Sunglasses. Have a look at this.
So most people don't know, but the filter in a cigarette butt is actually made from plastic. So people think it's biodegradable and that if they flick it on the street, it'll break down and be dealt with by nature. But that's actually not true. If you flick a cigarette butt on the street, those get washed into the ocean, through rivers and storm drains, and then they break down into microplastic.
Came to Liam with the idea to recycle cigarette butts or try and find something to do with them. And then when we started looking in and researching the problem of cigarette butts, we kind of couldn't believe like how bad it was, and like that no one had actually tried to do something about it on a scalable process. Because I don't know if you're aware, but cigarette butts are actually the most common item of litter on the planet.
So that plastic is actually what we extract from cigarette butts to turn into the likes of sunglasses. And so the process, basically, you have three main components in a cigarette butt. You have the paper and tobacco, and you have the plastic, and then you have the tar, which is the chemical contaminants. So our process basically is to separate out the paper and tobacco, and that's sort of a secret sauce I can't get into. And then once we have the dirty plastic, we chemically clean it to separate out the really toxic sludge.
I guess the dream of the company right now, and like our fundamental mission, is to kind of accomplish what no other company who's tried to recycle cigarette butts before has done, which is to develop a process that's scalable and emits and has very low carbon emissions. So like we would like to have by 2025 we want to recycle at least 10% of the EU cigarette waste alone, and have a network of cookie cutter recycling facilities whereby cigarette butts are transported on a small local scale to those facilities and recycled into large amounts of plastic that provides a more sustainable alternative to petroleum plastic. So yeah, I mean, in a sentence, like the mission and goal of the company is to like keep as many cigarette butts as possible out of the ocean and into our products.
Great to see my fellow Irishmen doing the country proud. That was Liam and Rory. Their company is called Filtracycle, and it not only turns the recycled plastic into sunglasses, but other products as well. But what's unique about Filtracycle is the process they have devised in recycling the plastic from the cigarette butts. Now, of course, they said it was their secret sauce. They couldn't tell us what exactly that was because it's a patented secret, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the company does. And thanks to Liam and Rory for taking time to talk to us on the show. This man here beside me, another very important man. The great thing about this show is we have lots of VIPs. He is the president, the fourth president of the United Nations Environmental Assembly. Sim Chrysler, it's great to have you back in the program.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
We met 2 years ago here in beautiful Tallinn for the first ever World Cleanup Day show. It was high on the priority list then for you. You were working hard on it. I know everything has been shifting and changing with COVID, but how is it now in terms of environmental issues? Is it getting harder to advocate and fight for them at a government level?
Certainly, it's getting more complicated because, you know, all the meetings are postponed. So will be postponed the next Environment Assembly in the United Nations. So we don't know exactly what will happen. Of course, the focus is elsewhere. People are talking more about COVID situation. So maybe we have lost the momentum a little bit. I was very proud we achieved the agreement on significant reduction of single-use plastics. But
what does that mean? Yeah, the agreement, Sim, that you helped push through in 2018, that was an agreement between which nations, and what was the agreement to do?
All the nations, all the member
nations.
states
Wow.
of the United Nations. So it was a declaration.
Yeah.
Which means that next steps should follow. That we should continue working on it. We should start at first establishing the level, how much single-use plastic we produce all over the world. And unfortunately, I don't know any country in the whole world where the total volume of single-use plastics would be in decline. It's growing everywhere.
Isn't that incredible? Because we talk about this issue and we have been talking about it for so long, and here on the program we've been bringing it up for years. Countries, politicians, leaders come on and they say we have to do better, we have to reduce single use, and as you've mentioned, the curve is increasing in every country. Why is that?
It takes time. We see immediate steps with forbidding plastic bags, for example. But about the total volume, it's a small amount. It's very visible, we notice it, but there are lots of other items where we really can observe some decrease and very positive results is packaging. Well, every one of us can recall when we bought a new mobile phone, for example. Some years ago it was in plastics, but today it's mostly cellulose, carbon products.
Yeah, and that's true. But even now, I used the analogy the last time, when you get on a flight, you'll get a plastic container with plastic wrapping, with a plastic toothbrush inside it, with a plastic cap over the top of the toothbrush, and you just take all that off to brush your teeth once on the flight, and then you land and there's a new one for a new passenger. What do you think has to change to get nations to make a change? Because it has to come from policy, doesn't it? As well as people wanting to change it, governments have to say, this is banned, this is not allowed, you have to use a different material.
There are more and more regulations all over the world, and in the European Union there are regulations introduced now, established for a reduction of single-use plastic products. We all talk about plastic jugs or whatever products, but it takes time. And with packaging, for example, I really believe we need. I'm not fond of any regulations. I want more liberties and freedom, but there. We don't need such
elaborate packaging,
luxurious packaging all over the products. We need simple, just functional packaging for our products, and that's it. And we should have some kind of rules there.
Now, you've been busy today, Sim, because you were obviously helping out in the World Cleanup Day, but you were involved in a webinar with India. What were they talking about on the webinar with India? Because there's a lot of environmental issues in India. So what were you chatting about?
It was a great experience for me. It was really exotic for me to participate in a webinar in India, so far away from us and such a different culture. But of course the topics were the same. And the main issue was cigarette butts on this webinar as well. I heard some very good examples how the plastics from the filters of cigarettes is being recycled in India in different companies. So there is some progress. Of course, lots of talking about raising awareness. Same issues as here in Estonia, there in India also, definitely.
And I'm sure in India, and as you know from your work in the United Nations, when there's so many people living under the poverty line, work is a necessity and feeding families is a necessity, and sometimes it's at the detriment to the environment. I'm thinking of like the ship breaking industry along India.
People don't think about those issues so much.
Which you can understand when they're, to a certain extent, when they're feeding families.
And they really don't realize. And actually, with cigarette butts, it's been quite recent development here in Estonia also. Until then, people didn't realize that the filter is actually plastics. Many people still think, I believe, that it's somehow biodegradable or it will disappear.
Paper and cotton or something.
The things will disappear.
Well,
but they won't.
They won't.
We have to pick them up.
I know that you won't disappear either, because you've been such a huge supporter of the World Cleanup Day since the beginning, and it's all well and good, all the volunteers doing the work here, but we always need people fighting for us and championing us at levels like at the United Nations. So we really appreciate it, and thank you for all your work as well.
Thank you. I'm so proud I have been among all the road next to the Let's Do It world always.
Part of the family since day one. Well, you hang on there for a second, Sim, because you were talking about the exotic meeting you had with India. Let's go to Africa now and find out how the cleanup is going in Kenya.
Hey, how are you?
Very good, thanks. And you?
I'm good.
So what's going on there?
So we've just finished our cleanup activity for the day at this particular center. And now we are having a session where we are sensitizing the community about the need for cleanliness so that we don't have to come back again to clean the area. So what you're seeing behind me is sort of, I don't know if the noise is too much. How is the sound? Okay. So what you're seeing behind me is a forum organized by local leaders and the Let's Do It leader here, who's called Brian, to talk to the community members that today we came to clean here, but it's on you. Your environment is your responsibility. So, we have a number of people who are here. We have representatives from the government who have also joined us. We have the municipal officers who have joined us. They have supplied trucks to collect the trash, and one of the conversations we were having with them is about how beyond today the community can continue to keep the environment clean. And in this case, they said that they will set up like weekly communication systems to remind people to take care of their environment because it's their responsibility. And then we also have the senator for the area who has joined us. He's sitting in the crowd. He's interacting with the citizens. So why that is important, in my opinion, is because when you see leaders take up action for the environment, then it's a good example for the society and the community to follow. And then we've also had a tree planting exercise on top of the cleanup, because again, we are looking at the environment management holistically. So we started off with our cleanup at around 8 a.m. local time. By 11:30 local time, we were done with the cleanup. We did a tree planting of the areas we cleaned, and then we assigned some local community members the trees to take care of them. And then now we are having a community sensitization forum just to sensitize the community. And so we have dances going on, we have speeches, we have some musicians and poets just saying poems about environmental awareness. Yes.
So you really have all the different aspects of where you can say covered. But how much trash did you collect? Do you know already?
So, no, I don't know yet, but for this particular zone, we collected around 20 sacks, gunny bags. So we are yet to weigh them, but yeah, we collected those. And then for this particular region, because of the social distancing, we have small cleanups, unlike, say, the previous 2 years where we've had huge cleanups of like 10,000 people in one area. For this year, we went for small cleanups, but many, so that we had as many people taking part, but also social distancing. So for this area, we are looking at around 70 people who've come. And then we have 40 other areas where we have people just showing up in different numbers. So I'm yet to get the real numbers because we are still in the function. But once I get those, I can share with you. The most common type of trash here has been the plastic bags, which is interesting because our government banned plastic bags. But for some reason, the most collected trash here has been plastic bags. And I don't know whether this is because it is the residual plastic bags from the other times where before they banned the plastic bags, or if the plastic bags are still finding a way into the country and still in use. One thing to note, I'm not in the capital city, I'm away from the city. So compared to Nairobi, where the plastic ban is very effective, I don't know about if it has been embraced well in this region. So there could be it's something to find out. And if the ban on plastics is not being implemented, then it's something to take up with the authorities. Or if it's residual plastic bags before the ban was effected, then there's need to raise awareness on proper waste management so that these plastics from years ago are not still appearing and being a menace today.
Thank you very much, Kenya, for that update. Great to hear from you, and we'll have more from some of our partners in African countries later in the programme. Now, we are going to a lady who spoke at the World Cleanup Day conference here in Tallinn, Estonia in January. Her name is Sybil Bullock, and she is in the USA. And it's very interesting, the partnership that we're doing with Sybil, because they have been working on this program for a while now, a brand audit together with Break Free from Plastic. They're looking at companies like Coca-Cola, how they can reduce their consumption of plastic and their use of plastic. And who better to tell you than Sybil? Over to you.
Hello, Estonia. Hello, world. Happy World Cleanup Day.
Fantastic. So you're there in your local park. Tell us exactly where you are and why you're there and what brand auditing is going to be about this year.
I am here in my favorite local neighborhood park called Quincy Park here in Arlington, Virginia. It's a very special place for me. I like to come here to unwind, relax, set up a hammock, read a book. There's always kids playing in the playground, people playing sports. It's a very special place, public space in my neighborhood. And what we mean by a brand audit is when we're picking up trash that we find in a public space, like you're all doing on World Cleanup Day, you can take that event a step further by actually recording what you find in order to have a longer term impact. It's important to kind of point out the brand names that we're finding on this plastic waste. So what we do in these brand audits is write that down, collect the data from people doing this all over the world, and publish a report so that we can hold those companies accountable and ask them to do better.
When you say ask them to do better, what is your expectation about how they can respond to the feedback that you offer them?
We want these companies to reveal their total global plastic footprint, to reduce from the source the total amount of plastic they produce, and to redesign their packaging to be reusable or refillable so that we do not continue to rely on the disposable single-use model, but to really design waste out of the way these companies deliver their products to people.
I'm aware that you've been closely involved with the Let's Do It World movement for the last couple of years. You were at the Clean World Conference in Tallinn earlier this year. How did you get involved, firstly, in environmental awareness and campaigning for plastic?
My personal journey with waste issues started when I was a teenager. I was living in Cairo, Egypt, one of the most polluted cities in the world, and I visited a landfill where thousands of people actually live in Cairo's garbage and sort through Cairo's garbage.
What do Break Free from Plastic and World Cleanup Day have in common that interests you so much?
So I joined Greenpeace, and Greenpeace is part of the Break Free from Plastic movement. From there, I was able to join the plastics campaign and then come on to the team at Break Free from Plastic, which is global, and World Cleanup Day was started by the Let's Do It World and Let's Do It Foundation groups, which are part of the Break Free from Plastic movement. So this is kind of how those groups intersect. Break Free from Plastic is a global movement. It's the sort of coalition that brings together thousands of large NGOs, small community groups, and individuals together to work on ending plastic pollution.
Difficult and challenging times we're in with the COVID-19 virus being all over the world and causing restrictions to some degree or other in various places, some more strict than others. What's happening with you? I notice you're in the park, you don't have a mask on. What's the situation here? What advice would you give to people doing cleanups now, different types of?
We have a cleanup and brand audit safety guide on our brand audit toolkit page. So all brand audit event hosts are required to follow the guidelines in that document.
Thank you very much. My director is laughing at me in my ear when we come back on air and I get caught doing this. Thank you very much to Sybil there in her beautiful park in the United States of America. Great to have you on board as well and talk about the brand audits, which is very interesting. And we're going to stay on that topic of brand audits as we come back to Europe and one of our Scandinavian neighbours here in Europe. It is Denmark, and let's go say hello to Claudia.
Hi Estonia, hi world.
What's going on there?
So right now I'm here at my office in Plastic Change. We're centered right down in Copenhagen Central. Our office is right next to a Copenhagen canal. So every day we watch people hanging out in the big lawn just across the street, and they have lots of fun, but unfortunately they also leave a lot of trash behind, and sometimes we see the trash going outside in the waterways, so that's really sad, but it also gives us some motivation every day to do our work in Plastic Change.
And I believe that in Plastic Change you're collaborating with Break Free from Plastic and World Cleanup Day to do a brand audit. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's really exciting and really fun. So obviously we've motivated the whole Danish public to engage in World Cleanup Day to clean up. But then besides that, we've also engaged some extra engaged volunteers, Danish volunteers around Denmark, around the country. to actually do a brand audit. So besides cleaning up, which is really, really important, we remove trash from nature that might end up in the waterways and in the global oceans. But besides cleaning up, we also want the volunteers to actually record some data and gather some knowledge on the products that we find in nature. So we asked them to, we follow the Break Free from Plastic protocol. So we asked the volunteers to record, well, first sort the plastics in items, so bottles here and cigarette butts here. And then we asked them to record what brands are behind these products. And then we can find out what parent companies actually own these brands, because many parent companies owns a lot of brands. So it's actually really hard for us as consumers to know which companies are actually responsible for this trash that we find in nature.
What do you do with that information when you get it? And what does a brand audit allow you to do?
So it allows us to identify and document the brands and also the parent companies, producers behind these brands, and how much they're actually contributing to this pollution. So far the narrative has been that it is us as consumers that leaves this trash behind, whether we want it or not. Sometimes we do it on purpose, and sometimes it just falls out. But anyhow, it's not only a consumer problem, because this is actually, we don't as consumers have a lot of choice when we actually go to the supermarket. When I go to the supermarket and want to buy some organic bananas, for example, I only have the choice of buying them with plastics around them, and it's really hard to be consumers. And that brings us back to the producers that are producing these single-use items that we as consumers actually have hard time, or at least we are left behind with the responsibility to pay our society to get rid of it. And actually, we don't think that the producers are taking enough responsibilities for this trash. So that's really powerful with a brand audit, that we can identify the companies behind it and also give them responsibilities for this trash that are ending up in nature.
Tell us about the relationship between Plastic Change and World Cleanup Day. How did that come about, and why did you get involved?
So Plastic Change has started in 2014, so we're quite a new NGO. But once Let's Do It World and World Cleanup Day started their whole activity, it was so clear that obviously Plastic Change should be a part of this global movement, because cleaning up and doing it all at once, the whole world, really gives people a sense of community, and that we're doing this together and we can do it, we can combat it. And obviously it's not the only solution, it's only a symptom treatment really, and obviously we don't want to clean up the rest of our lives, but it's really, really important that it's a really concrete thing that people can engage in. And in Plastic Change, we really also want to make a Danish movement on this issue. And it was so important that we were also engaging the public in World Cleanup Day. And we can see that everybody, like so many people, want to do it. So we're really grateful that Estonia started this movement, and we could also engage as a nation from Denmark.
What's your powerful personal message of encouragement to everybody around the world who's cleaning up?
So the whole world is part of this problem with plastic pollution, and we as a society can all do something in our lives to actually combat this issue with plastic pollution. And cleaning up the world is a great way to become part of this movement and actually doing something concrete to combat this problem. So let's do it. Well, we can do it.
Thank you so much, Claudia, there in Denmark. And now we are going to Georgia to talk to Tamar.
Hello. Hi, Let's Do It team. So I'm calling in from Georgia, and today Let's Do It Georgia organized around 100 cleanups These were very small cleanups because of COVID restrictions. We could only have teams of 10 people. And in some regions of Georgia, it was quite rainy, so we had to postpone the cleanup actions. But our volunteers are very motivated to do them later, tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And I really hope they won't lose these motivations so that we can organize all of these planned cleanups. And in our location, the weather was pretty all right. It was just windy. We had around 30 volunteers because in this region, the COVID situation is not that bad. So around 30, 40 volunteers clean up the place. We are also painting a very beautiful wall. It has an environmental message, so it will be also like a beautiful remaining piece celebrating today, World Cleanup Day. And our main campaign topic was cigarette butt littering. And the location that we picked was very, very, very polluted with cigarette butts. And it was so difficult to pick them up one by one. But our volunteers were mostly young people, so I think it will. They will remember this day very well. That that the cigarette butts are not decomposed in the ground. So this campaign will also spread the message so that people won't just drop their cigarette butts on the ground. And all in all, today it's a great day. So I'm really happy with all the results. At the end of the day, we will calculate all the volunteers and the waste, and we will have the finished results today. However, I want to wait for other teams who postponed their events until I have the final number, how many volunteers joined and how much trash was cleaned up.
So we talked earlier as well, and you said that at the spots where you were cleaning, that there was on the grass there was more cigarette butts than grass.
Exactly. Yes, I even recorded a video showing the cigarette butts. They were somehow kind of part of the nature almost, which is horrifying because they are very dangerous for animals who mistakenly eat them, and also they pollute the ground. And it was horrifying to see that there was more stones and pebbles. No, there was more cigarette butts than the stones and pebbles on the grass. And it was also very difficult to clean up. And a lot of the times during cleanups, people just leave them because it's difficult to pick them up one by one. So today we really wanted to pay special attention towards them.
So not to miss them this time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much did you pick? Do you know, like how many jars, or your team overall?
We filled 2 bags. So these bags were around 60-liter bags. So in total, we filled 120 liters of cigarette butts. We had separate cleanup bags, these trash bags for cigarette butts, and it was so many. We filled up around 120 liters of them.
And that was in a few hours?
Yes, we had around 2 or 3 hours at the location. It was not a very big location, so we tried to combine all our forces and do it fast and energized.
So I will also ask you to look in the future a little bit. What are the future plans for World Cleanup Day, Georgia?
For future, actually, I already had big plans for this year, but COVID got in the way. So for next year, I really want to expand our network in Georgia, and I want to have regional coordinators in Georgia for Let's Do It. And it will be easier to collaborate with them during World Cleanup Day and other activities, because every year I announce open call for leaders over and over again. So it will be much easier to have regional coordinators, and they will mobilize the groups, and it will be a bigger network, a bigger force for the same goal. So I really want to do it next year.
to build a really good, strong network, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much, Tamar. I will let you have a break after the long cleaning day.
Thank you so much. Good luck to everybody. Bye.
Thank you so much, Tamar, there in Georgia, and for all the great work you do. Another face that we saw at the World Cleanup Day conference when it was held here in beautiful Tallinn in Estonia. And if you've just joined us, a reminder that this is the World Cleanup Day live show. Look at that there, the Newscast, bing, bing, bing. We're coming to you live from Tallinn in Estonia, the old town, the old medieval town. We're right here on the Baltic Sea. It is a beautiful day here, and I hope it's lovely where you are too, wherever you may be doing your cleanup. Now, we're going to keep checking in with people around the world to see how the cleaning is going and how they're getting on with the different initiatives they're running. Here's another man that we've seen before in the World Cleanup Day. He is a man with a lot of passion. Let's go now and say hello to Enzo Faviano.
Well, I tend to be confident by nature. But anyway, we have got very good signs, a bubble in Europe, because we have got basically the circular economy package, which includes a zero waste agenda, I would say. So the principles which have been embedded in the Keep It Clean plan are fully tabled in the circular economy package, which is basically all about keeping the bar of the ambition higher and higher, retaining materials in their highest status, in their best status for as long as possible. And that's the real spirit of circular economy. Not only do we want to avoid littering and to pick up the litter from the world, which is the starting spirit of the World Cleanup Day, but also we don't want anything wrong to happen from now on. And this is where the two things connect to each other.
So Let's Do It World's focus this year are cigarette butts. What do you see?
Great choice, great pick.
Solution to that?
Yeah, sure. That's a very good area to be focused on. Let me, first and foremost, let me mention that cigarette butts are one of the priority materials which have been listed in the Single-Use Plastics Directive, which tries to minimize single-use materials. For the first time ever, I think the accent is not so much on recycling, but is shifted towards reduction, minimization. And it's intriguing, by the way, to emphasize that the way the European institutions singled out the priority materials to work on with bans, restrictions, increased extended producer responsibility, and so on and so forth, that list actually was built on the most frequently found items during the cleanups, which is great because it's an acknowledgement of the importance of cleanups. It's a pure citizen science. We always say, not only do we collect materials and trash during the cleanups, but also precious information which is connected to it. What are the most frequently littered materials? Where do we find them? What may be the mechanisms for dispersion? Is it wind, water, whatever? So it's important anyway. Cigarette butts are there. They are listed in the priority materials. And of course, there is increased responsibility for the producers. But of course, everything will start with our own lives, with our own actions, good behavior. So first of all, I would advise not to smoke. But we know we are contoured by people who are smoking. I have got some sons, they do smoke every so often, they do smoke. And I told them, please, at least don't litter with the cigarette butts. So I gave them some portable cigarette boxes.
So where will you be cleaning this year?
I'm based near Milan, and so quite probably I will be cleaning. There are quite a few cleanups here around Milan.
Thank you so much, Enzo, and good luck with keeping it clean.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. And more power to your elbow, everybody. Do a great job as usual. Ciao.
It is my pleasure. If you do not pick up the rubbish, you are an idiot. I love Enzo. I love his passion. I love his Italianness. It's fantastic. Thank you very much. Here we are. This is our centre. We have volunteers coming and going all day. Let's check in with them very quickly. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. You are nice and cool and calm and collected. You just brought the energy to a nice level. What is your name?
My name is Eric.
Eric, you have a very nice voice.
Yeah, thank you.
You said yes, I know, thank you. What are you working on besides perfecting that beautiful voice?
I'm trying to deal and contact African countries, French African countries.
And how's it going so far?
Oh, very good. You see, every country I contact already, you see, it's clean.
Yes.
Now I'm doing like the last report.
And you're nice and relaxed, aren't you?
What?
You're nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful you don't fall asleep there, okay?
Don't worry.
But you've been here all day. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. The man with the lovely voice. Have you got a lovely voice as well?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Ah, you do. You have a real Estonian voice, which is a nice voice. What is your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. That's a nice name. Rebecca. What are you working on?
I'm calling world leaders around the world, organizing the cleanups, and it's just so rewarding to get the raw emotions, how they're doing, how happy it is, how great it is.
What's the emotion like?
Basically, despite COVID, we still managed to do it.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Actually, it is.
Keep up the good work, Rebecca, and it was nice meeting you.
Thank you. You too.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And your voice is nice. We spoke to our friends a while ago. We haven't said hello to you. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Where are you from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Are you here studying or are you living in Estonia?
Studying, yeah.
What are you studying?
Politics and governance.
Ooh, politics. The one thing you should never talk about over dinner, eh? And
yeah, maybe.
How did you get involved in World Cleanup Day?
Yeah, I'm volunteering to work on Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah, we have posts from all over the world.
Okay. And you're enjoying it?
Yes.
Well, keep up the good work. And over here we have another, he's on a call right now, so we can't talk to him. Sorry, I know I'm a fool, I'm just disturbing you. Let's go over here, and we're going to bring you into one of the back rooms we haven't been into yet. Here's more of the volunteers we saw. They're pretending to work. They're actually not doing anything. Look at that. They're on Facebook, they're playing solitaire, Bebo, MySpace. Now, in here is one of the nerve centers. This is where the big bosses stay. Hey, I'm on TV! Look at that. Okay, check this out. Double trouble. Twins. Estonian twins. And a while ago they told me something very interesting that I didn't know about twins.
If you stand between twins, then you can make a wish.
Da, 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 da. I'm officially between twins.
So
okay,
make a wish.
I'm making a wish. I wish for a greener planet.
Oh, so sweet.
So sweet.
So sweet.
My halo. You know what I do wish for? I wish for things that I have at home, I could swap them. Do you ever wish that you have things that you want to get rid of, you could just swap them for something you need?
Actually, I do it
You
all
do
the
it?
time. Yeah.
How do you do it?
I do it by Smart Swap.
You use Smart Swap too?
Yes.
Yes, we all use Smart Swap because this is a fantastic platform. When you have things at home that you know you're not going to sell, you know you're not going to use again, you could swap them for something you need. So an Estonian-born company is called Smart Swap and it does just that. Check this out.
We're joined by Heikki Laidma from SmartSwap. So Heikki, what does SmartSwap do?
SmartSwap is circular economy and reusers community. So it helps to idle standing items to find new users. And when you have something laying around and gathering dust at your home, you just can give it away to other users.
So what is the common good your company offers for the society?
We are saving the earth and world from the unnecessary trash and waste that otherwise would be put into landfills. We help low-income families and big families to find resources otherwise couldn't buy, let's say. And we also help non-profit organizations, kindergarten, schools, first of all, to get rid of when they have something laying around and otherwise they would have to pay for it, or they can order from other schools and kindergartens and other organizations when they have something that they have need for.
Do I understand correctly that all the second-hand items and furniture uploaded on your SmartSwap platform looking for new home or new office are available for free?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Everything on our platform is for free, and there is very specific reason for that. We have a lot of very different items, starting from building leftovers up to very high quality furniture. but when you put the price tag to any item, it is always compared against the new ones. It's always compared quality-wise, quarantine-wise, design and everything. But when you take the price out of the equation, then the consumer or the user who wants it is ready to have a lower quality or is ready to improve the item himself or herself. And this is why we have taken price out. The only thing you pay for is delivery, and this is where SmartSwap makes some money as well.
What is your business model? How do you sustain your platform and your operation?
Our business model is pretty simple. We outsource the delivery services, parcel and logistic services, and we earn commission on those. And we hope that the business grows large enough to sustain our platform and to make it a long-term success and viable business model.
What kind of advice would you give to people and companies out there around the world on how to achieve a more sustainable world?
That's a very good question. When we started, the idea was born from the fact that when I went into my garage, I found that I had numerous items just laying around and doing nothing. And at the same time, all the items were in perfect condition. So I started thinking that probably other people have the same things, and at the same time you have people who are going into shops and buying the same items. So you are basically double consuming natural resources for items that you have laying around. So that was the idea when the SmartSwap was born. So my suggestion to companies and all the organizations and people around is that go to your home or offices or to your stocks or wherever you are and look around. You probably have tens and tens of items laying around and doing nothing. And at the same time, someone is going into shop and buying the same thing. Audit your homes and offices, take a look around what you have and give it to those who need those items at the moment.
How does SmartSwap work in practice?
SmartSwap is very easy to use. You basically sign up to the service and you fill in the account settings fields and you're ready to go. To add an item you have just one button and you have several drop-down menus, and after that you make a couple of pictures and you post an item to our platform. And to order an item it's even easier. You browse through the different items that are on our platform, and then when you find something you like and you need, you go to the item and you have just a one-click button to click on, and basically everything else is handled by us. All the transportation, logistics and everything else is done by us.
Heikki Laidma from SmartSwap, thank you and good luck.
Thank you all.
What a fantastic idea, SmartSwap. You should check it out. Look, there's Rebecca we spoke to earlier. Rebecca! Hey, Rebecca! 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 There she is. Hello. How are you? Good to see. Good worker. How I got this job, I have no idea. They were very, very stuck. Clearly, they were very stuck. Anyway, let's keep going with the Gleed. I know you're on the phone. I know. So look, we'll deal with this later, okay? Let's go to Greece and talk to Anastasios.
Hello and greetings from Greece. We are fine at the moment. We just had actually a Mediterranean hurricane. Wow. But we are all safe and sound. And greetings from Greece.
Excellent. So tell me, what is Mediterranean hurricane? Is it something that is huge and very dangerous? Or?
Kind of. It sort of happens once every 10 years. And as if 2020 did not have enough challenges, it had to happen on the World Cleanup Day for us. But we're not going to let it go like this. We're going to have our cleanups today, tomorrow, or within the next week, because we need a cleaner planet. And for this, we all need to do something together.
Do you know approximately how many people are participating in this campaign in Greece?
Mm-hmm. So for this year, we've opted for individual or small team cleanups, which is a lot safer for the people to do. It also makes it a bit harder to track down. We've already been aware of 200 like small scale or individual events happening either today or postponed for the next week. We know that there will be many more going around because the message is out there and people are devoting their time to clean up their communities for a better planet.
What about on a everyday life? I mean, do you think people are taking all those concerns about environment and waste more seriously than ever before, or do you think that you need to raise more awareness?
All right. So the plastic pollution is a big problem for us. We are being more and more aware of it, and we want to do something to make it right. As a country, we have a goal to not use single-use plastics by next year. So that's a very big goal for us. And people, the citizens, are in it to make it happen.
So would you say that the plastic waste is the biggest environmental problem in Greece?
It's one of the environmental problems. Cigarette butts is also a very important one. They're everywhere, but you can't see them. Even in beaches that are cleaned from plastic, you still find many cigarette butts. So that's another big one for us.
What would be your message to other countries? Is there something you would like to highlight about Greece, and maybe some solution you've created to reduce waste or fight against the pollution, or is there anything you would like to say to others?
What we really love seeing in Greece is the diversity and inclusiveness of this action. So the diversity of the people participating. We've had people from all kinds of communities, and what really struck a special beat in my heart was seeing photos of differently abled people upcycling some of the trash that volunteers found on beaches, and that was amazing. So my message to my brothers and sisters all around the world would be, let's do this together. It is a global issue, and only by working together can we make a real difference.
Excellent. These are beautiful words, and thank you very much indeed, and all the best to you in Greece. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A happy World Cleanup Day, and good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
She's gone. Look, she's gone. We lost a volunteer because of me. Anyway, this is the World Cleanup Day show coming to you live from Tallinn in Estonia. Now let's hear about another really interesting and great initiative. It's called the Repairing Cellar.
Hi, my name is Jiri and welcome to Paranduskelder. Paranduskelder is basically a makerspace focused on fixing and upcycling and reusing waste materials. And with that we can do crazy kind of things, and this is what we do here. Like for instance this kind of bicycle trailer that is made out of shopping carts that we definitely did not steal. We got them from the shops because apparently they are broken, so we turned them into this. We are a bit like scavengers, so we scavenge all kinds of stuff that we need for sure. So this is to be a holder for test tubes, and we've got like an enormous amount of them. I forgot to show you in the workshop. Basically what you can do, you can smash them into little flakes, and these flakes then you can reuse to melt. You melt these flakes, and then you can mold them into something newer. Basically we started with our activities about 3 years ago with these very popular events all around the globe called repair cafes, where you basically take people who are very handy in sewing and fixing bikes and fixing whatnot, and you invite also people from the outside to come and bring anything they need to fix. And usually it's organized in a sort of a community space or community center or a school or even a bar, and you just bring these broken things, and the people who are able to fix them, and during this whole event you fix as many things as you can. And actually this is also the reason why we started with Paranduskelder, exactly from this very frustration that things tend to be not so fixable, and people are very used to this fact, and they don't even bother to actually fix them. Anyways, so we do all this kind of crazy projects like this, and it's a community workshop, so it's a membership base, so you pay a symbolic fee, 10 euros per year, and then you can come here 3 times a week and use the space and the tools and also the people that happen to be here. Another thing what we do in order to sort of promote this practical hands-on transition to circular economy is that we do our YouTube channel as well, so check it out for sure. It's YouTube/Paranda. So thanks for joining in and have a nice cleanup day. Bye.
A great initiative there. Look, our friend's back. You're back. Welcome back. You're very welcome. Welcome back to you when you come back in around an hour's time, because that's the end of this broadcast here on the World Cleanup Day show. Facebook and YouTube account and whatever platform or network you're watching this on. It has been great checking in with so many countries, listening to so many experts and hearing about really exciting and creative initiatives. We're going to be back in around an hour's time with another live broadcast. Like and share this, tell your friends about it, and we'll talk to you with more updates in an hour's time live from Tallinn, Estonia.